Hi, I'm Mike Marino, and this is a brand new episode of Live from My Mother's Basement. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good afternoon, whatever time it is, whatever hour, whatever day it is that you're watching. Welcome to another episode of Live from My Mother's Basement. And I'll have to say, this is probably going to be our favorite episode because not only do I have great guests, they're the guests that make this podcast happen. Finally, I got the producer, director, almost everything that I do on the show. So going from left to right, this is the producer of this wonderful podcast and creator. Got it? This is Tatjana Bluchel. This is the person I thank at the end of every episode. And this is her husband, Cody Boesen, who directs pretty much everything when it comes to Make America Italian Again, I would say. Yeah. And a lot of the crazy sketches that we do and put and upload on YouTube. So, hey, here we are. Here they are. Let's have some fun. So I don't even know which character to start with because they're actually coming from making a new project. We're making a new project. And Tatjana is not only a producer and creator, but she does
special makeup effects.
Special makeup effects. See, I would have said special effects makeup. That's why I let her say, because I get things wrong. And Cody, who's a director, creator, writer, producer, all that stuff, is also working on a lot of different projects. Of course, they do things together, not with me all the time. I get a little upset with that. So thanks for coming over. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for everything that you do. They came here today and they're going to show us some of the things that they do on me. Can we say that? First of all, why don't we say, where are you from originally?
Originally, I am from Wisconsin.
Midwest. He's got like no accent whatsoever. He's just like a regular Midwestern guy. Went to school for?
I went to school in Wisconsin for graphic design and multimedia because I wanted to work in film, but I also wanted to have sort of a business basis.
I thought you went to school for directing.
No, I went to school for graphics and multimedia, which teaches you the art and the business side of it. So how to do a quote, how to set a rate, how to do spreadsheets, which is sort of the other half of entertainment, which has been really helpful.
Yeah, I bet you it is, because the business end of show business is something I actually really don't know that much about. In fact, I get yelled at every once in a while for touching shit I'm not supposed to. Why didn't you put out the contract? Hey, I was in a hurry. I wanted the money. Okay, and this young lady has an incredible story of being in so many different places and ends up in Hollywood, California. Originally from?
Germany. I am originally from Germany.
Germany. She doesn't sound like she's from Germany unless you get her angry. Then she sounds like she's from Germany, and she could speak German too, which is really, really cool. But you cut your teeth and came to California from Reno?
I was in Reno. I was an exchange student. Then I went back to Germany and finished high school. Then I came back for college. In college, I studied theater and psychology. And was always acting. Then ended up in LA, went to film school for producing because same thing, I wanted to know sort of the business side of things, and wanted to be able to, read a contract and know, how to sell a movie and how to finance a movie and how to, just get it off the ground. And ended up working in some production companies and just didn't like the 9-to-5 and was missing sort of that hands-on creative approach.
You were working at a management company for a minute too, right?
I interned at a management company, I interned at a production company, I interned at various distribution companies, so I tried to figure out where I really belonged in the industry and just didn't like the office.
I remember you worked at an office that managed James Gandolfini at the time The Sopranos was hot, right?
Yeah. Or just after. He was actually on the phone one time with me. I answered the phone as the little brand new intern, and I'm like, hi, and he's like, hi, this is Jim. I'm like, who? I had no idea who it is, and I was called one of the managers and was like, there's a Jim for you on the phone.
It's changed.
And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put you through. And he's like, who is this? And I'm like, hi, I'm Tatjana, I'm the intern. He's like, fresh blood. And I'm like, oh my God, Tony Soprano called me fresh blood. It's so cool.
Oh my God.
It was kind of cool.
I'm fresh blood. Calling your parents. You won't believe this.
It's kind of cool.
I'm fresh blood. 10 years later, now I play with blood.
Yes.
Which is something that we're going to see. But you were working and trying and auditioning to become an actress when we first met. You started working with me. And I remember one day you were telling me, my agency wants me to change my hair color. It's got to be very specific.
Yeah.
And then you were kind of upset about it, but you did it. And then they said, oh, you know what? You probably should change it back. And it just drives us crazy because everybody has an opinion, what may or may not be the thing to do. And then we do it. Right. And you realize, this isn't what I should have done. I should have left it alone. And you're not even in the business anymore. You quit. We just go through all this crazy shit.
It took away the joy of acting for me. Like, I had so much fun always acting. And then it was all about, like, how I looked and not how I acted. And I'm like, I didn't like that anymore. So I was like, nope.
It's a crazy business. So then we're moving forward, and you guys end up getting married and starting working together. And then we were working together more and more and more. And then we came up with the concept, what if we were to film some of the jokes that I say in my act? I guess that's pretty much how we came up with it. And we were trying stupid, crazy stuff like filming a golf tournament. Mm-hmm. And at the golf tournament, we had a bunch of Italian golfers who sucked at the game, but we figured maybe there's some comedy here.
Right.
And they were funny. Then we find out there's a thing called YouTube, and we put it up on YouTube, and I started getting more fans. So we decided, let's do more like this. Well, what if we were to create a series of me fictitiously running for president? So a guy like me has to turn to a team like this and say, how do I do that? My brain will spit out a bunch of different ideas if you guys could take your education and put it together and move us forward. How'd that even happen?
It's interesting you said education, because education in this business is more experience. So how it happened was discussing what you could do on camera. And if I could tell the story back in that fateful day in Las Vegas, because we wanted to do something where you, Mike Marino, the character, is trying to run for president.
Right.
And we're in Vegas, where they have New York. We have pyramids. We have the whole world. We're like, oh, we could go down the street and go to Rome. We can go to Egypt. We can go to wherever. So we start driving in the off season. So it wasn't very fun, and it was cold. Stop the car. There's a statue. Hey, Mike, go stand in front of that statue. Pretend you're in Italy. Say something stupid, and we film it right on the strip. You get back in the car, you drive somewhere else. You say, hey, there's a fountain. Come film me in front of the fountain, and we'll recreate a scene. You go in front of the fountain. And we just kept putting that together. And over a few days, we got Mike Marino touring the world. And we sort of, that sort of evolved into, our
I forgot
video.
that we were actually doing that. Because if you know, in Las Vegas, something replicas Italy, something replicas France, something replicas New York. And we had friends out there who were entertainers, and everybody's so happy and gracious to lend their talents to something that they think might be fun, great, or whatever. And then you turn to your team to actually say, are we on the right track?
Well, it didn't even start as a series. We were just saying, oh, let's film a few clips.
And we put it on
some
YouTube.
Sketches.
Yeah.
And then people were reaching out after the first one or two were up. And we're like, when is the next episode coming out? And we were like, what are you talking about, episodes? And that kind of, I think, clicked for all of us, like, oh, we can just run with this and just keep going and make this a continued storyline. And then we actually put more like storyline thought behind it. And we're like, okay, so now all of these things happen. What is the next step that he has to do to run for president?
Yep. And what celebrity out in Vegas can we find that would say, all right, I'll put my face in that? Because they would come into the Laugh Factory to watch the entertainers anyway. And we have some crazy friends out there who have jobs that allowed us to walk into their job with cameras where normal people weren't allowed. But we got away with it for a little while. And we ended up doing 18 episodes of a series we called Make America Italian Again, which then spun off into us doing, yeah, right. Now we have shirts. Actually, I licensed a shirt to somebody else. We're winning. Then we did this thing called The Adventures of G.I. Giovanni, which basically started from a joke about the G.I. Joe doll. And tell them about, we were driving through the desert from California to Vegas, and we wanted to do this idea that the G.I. Joe doll was in the desert. So
in Egypt.
He
was gonna, because he had the little mummy coffin, the sarcophagus, and so we ended up with playing at a rest stop, just off the side next to like a parked truck in the desert in a ditch with the G.I. Giovanni dolls.
And it was really, really hot.
And it was really, really dusty.
Two people who shouldn't be playing with dolls anymore in the middle of the desert at one of my favorite rest stops in the middle of nowhere, known for selling beef jerky. You get 3 bags for like $25. It's the best. We got to go there. We go for lunch, and we make stupid little vignettes, playing with a little doll. Probably could have got killed out there, quite honestly.
Mike was down like in a ditch between like brush and going with the doll like, I'm climbing up the mountain.
And you know what's really wild? Nobody was really paying attention to us.
No.
That's normal out there. You fit right in.
Right?
Yeah, in
It's
the
like
desert.
And then, so you make something like this, and we're in the desert, we're playing with the doll, we're playing with, he was wiping his face with a tissue, then we had the mummy.
He was peeing in the bush.
He was peeing, we made the doll pee.
We had a sandstorm.
Yes, we blew sand on him. Cue the sand! Poof. And then, once we're done, I guess we put it in the can and send it to him. And it's his job to say, all right, let me make something out of what mess you guys made.
Yeah. Cut back to, and we did some studio work here against the green screen, put the dolls on a shoebox and filmed them static and then say, hey, Mike, just riff, talk for the dolls. What would they say? And so you do this quick little back and forth. And because Mike's talk, I can take his dialogue and put it wherever. And I cut that in. So it becomes the other 2 guys watching what's going on in the desert on a little view screen, making fun of this third guy getting, the sandstorm and getting killed by the mummy, and kind of tied the whole thing together.
We actually have a lot of fun doing these things, just taking chances on seeing what's going to happen. But my favorite thing, and I think it's their favorite as well, and we've done a lot of really cool. They're really, really funny, and we're not stopping. We got so many new ones. But the original one that we did in this very famous home in, so I guess it's Studio City, Georgia Durante's home, which is called the Enchanted Manor. And we're very lucky and blessed that we can go in there and do what we want because they do rent it out for a lot of money. But the idea we went in this particular day was some mob families having a sit down about how they're going to infiltrate a system and take over the White House by getting rid of bad people in foreign countries. But the joke is going to be a pizza guy shows up to deliver pizza, not ordered by the fat guy, but ordered by the skinny guy. And all we want to know is, how did he know where we were? And when we were making this episode, I kind of was a little concerned that I was coming up with the right idea. I knew the joke was good, and it felt like it was going to be funny. But to me, it really wasn't 100% funny till they went home, cut it up, showed it to me, and I'm like, it's 10 times funnier now. And I remember thinking, wow, you're a genius. You guys tell us about that day? Because it was one of many.
It was a good day. It was a great joke. You showed us the outline you wrote, and it worked. And we have all the other guys in the house with various levels of acting ability. They were all great. They were all good improv, and kind of just let you guys run with it. And so I have the camera, and I'm trying to figure out sort of, because you know how to act. You know how to work
Right,
the camera. Not everybody does. That's not to say that they're a bad actor, but sometimes it's like, okay, what am I going to do to get the best performance out of this person? You take somebody like Marco Asante, and you kind of just let him riff, and you always keep the camera on him because you never know what he's going to say. It's all gold. You never know what he's going to do.
He's funny.
So the longer you keep the camera on him, the more good stuff you're going to get.
Yeah.
And you're an actor. You say the same line, so I know, okay, Mike's going to give a good performance, 1 or 2 takes, move on. And I had 1 camera and like 5 guys, so I was trying to find the best angles. And we shot for hours. We shot for a whole afternoon. So I come home and how do you make this footage work and get the funniest lines and the funniest reactions? So that takes time, but because everything is good. So there's so much good performance to cut from. It's just a matter of knowing what to cut out so it's not boring. Because it could have been 45 minutes long, but it wouldn't have been funny.
And boring. So here's my question. When we're filming and you're behind the camera and he's in control, this is his show, the director's in control. She's producing, she's making sure she's on the other side watching everything that's going on. I'm just in a major state of panic thinking, I hope I'm doing the right thing. But I have to stay in my stupid little character and not crack up laughing because I don't know what anybody's going to say. I mean, this one day people were saying things. I was holding my breath and biting my tongue because I wanted to be serious. But are you watching saying to yourself, okay, I'm getting gold here?
Oh, yes. You see that. You know when you're getting what you want or when you're unexpectedly getting something that's good. You're like, okay, this is going to make it in. I have to remember that. I have to remember this, and then I have to get reactions. Marco said something unbelievably funny, so I have to make sure I get everyone else's reactions so the joke kind of plays.
He always seems so quiet to me. And I wonder, are you just calculating something? Are you seeing something that I'm not thinking about? Are you looking at the light? Are you wondering, are you getting the shot? What is it?
Well, I'm quiet because you guys just keep talking. You guys just keep going. I don't want to really, it's a small production, so I just want to let things happen as much as possible. And again, because you're improvising, you improv, you just see what happens.
Okay, but do you say to yourself, okay, when I go home, this is what I'm going to do, what I see right now? Or do you just go for it and you don't worry about it till you get home?
No, I worry about it. And there's a certain amount of planning that I'm doing in my head. So thinking like, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do. And sometimes it's daunting because you have all this stuff, all this footage, all this content. And I'm thinking to myself, as the scene goes on, and I see what you're getting out of the other guys and how it's going to cut together. So I go in with a plan, and I go in and because I have to watch everything and see something that I might not have noticed on the day, as they say. And so it's a little bit of both, I think. It's a little half and half.
Same question. How about you? Are you looking at us like, what a bunch of nuts? That's not funny. But I do know sometimes you're watching going, don't say that. That's offensive. We're going to get screwed.
Well, I think...
Or the cast,
It's the same thing. It's a balance of like, somebody says something sort of under their breath or so, and we don't really catch it. But I'm like, oh, this is actually something we should feature more. I'm like, say that again. Or, things like that. Or word it differently because then it might not be offensive. Or... even like just somebody turning a certain way or gesturing a certain way, I can be like, wow, this added so much to it, but we missed it. Yeah. But the camera was on you, but Marco is sitting on the other side and is doing something, and I'm like, can we get his reaction like exactly like what just happened? Because sometimes it just happens off screen. Somebody has a reaction, and I see that because he's paying attention to what's happening on screen because he's filming it and he's looking through the camera and seeing what's happening on camera. And then sometimes something happens that is, behind the scenes. I'm like, can we use that? I think there was a couple of moments, I want to say, when we were like in the kitchen cooking or something like that. Mm-hmm. And we were, before we were even shooting, and maybe you guys were shooting something else, Angelo Zarukas was in the kitchen messing around with some herbs and saying something. I'm like, we need to put that whole stuff into the short because it worked and it made sense, but it just happened when we weren't paying attention to it.
One thing to add, because you mentioned I go home and edit it. I do edit our videos. It's not always fun. you should never edit your own work. If you're directing for the people out there, they say a director should never edit their own stuff.
Is that right?
Because you're going to be too precious with it. You're going to love it all and not want to get rid of anything. And editing, you need to trim it down. And you watch videos, or little skits or whatever. And sometimes, like we said, it gets too boring because there's stuff that really should have been cut out. I don't have that problem because, one, timing-wise, it's just quicker if I do it. And I don't have a problem getting rid of stuff and not being precious. I love looking at something and being like, oh, that whole part, get rid of it. And when I get rid of it, then it plays so much better. So I kind of like broad strokes, just getting rid of things. I love everything we shoot, but you can get really good, less is more.
Yes. I'm glad I don't go into the editing room because I would say, scrap it all. I don't like the way it looks. When did I get that fat? What's with that angle?
And that's better. That's better than saying, no, keep this. And all of a sudden, our 3-minute video, which is super funny, becomes 15 minutes long, and it's not as funny.
I'm actually jealous of some of the scenes in my own project because they were filming some of the cast and I didn't know, but it was the follow-up. It was supposed to be they were in the other room talking about, I can't believe you ratted on me. Well, why'd you order it? Because I'm hungry. And I watched them direct the scene, but I didn't see it. And then when it came out, I'm like, oh man, these guys are phenomenal.
Marco and Angel.
Yes, and then I realized it's pretty much him making it look like that. So I'm spoiled. I tell people all the time, my director does the editing. Don't nobody touch this shit. Leave it alone, because we do green screen shit too. So fast forward, now we're all doing a lot of different projects, right? So Cody's working on a lot of different projects as a director and line producing?
I'm an assistant director. I'm a mostly commercial assistant director, which is my day job in the industry. And I do a lot of commercial work, a lot of digital work. And that's the scheduling, the sort of keeping everything on time, the work that's not always fun, but it's very fast paced. And it gets me a lot of exposure to a lot of different directors and producers and actors that I work with a lot.
I know you don't have to mention any names, but are you ever working on a project and you're the first AD and you're looking at the director going, oh, come on, man. Come on. How'd you get this shit?
I could do your job. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. You work with some people and you learn a lot from them. You work with some great directors and great producers. And I'm like, I like what you're doing. And then you work with some people and you're just like, no, that's,
Yeah, I guess we all got to go through that. Here's another thing people should know. The creative team behind you, you're actually looking at the creative team behind what I do. For real, this is them. I know a lot of people have been asking me, who does it? Sometimes people behind the scenes don't want to be in front at all. Mm-hmm. Like, you ever want to act?
No.
See?
No.
And I've asked Tatjana many times to do things with me, and sometimes she'll say, okay, like when she modeled my clothing line, we did that. But sometimes she's like, nah, I really don't want to do it. I had a hard time getting her to come on the show. She is the producer of the show. But here's something else she created. And you have to give credit where credit is due. I always do. I'll say I had nothing to do with that. They did it. I'm just in it. But the morning walk, which is now something so many people love watching. I didn't even realize how many people are so happy with this morning walk. I mean, guys, seriously. People calling me saying, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't get up. You make me happy. I laugh every day. I even have people call me and say, hey, how come you didn't go on today? What are you going to do tomorrow? Or,
Well, when you're on like a plane or you're out on a cruise ship and you don't have cell reception and you don't post, then I see the notifications going like, are you okay? Are you alive? You didn't go on your morning walk. And I'm like, Mike is alive. He doesn't have cell reception.
Well, this is how this morning walk happened. I was in the pandemic like everybody else. I was wearing a mask and I couldn't talk to nobody. Nobody was coming over. So I would go walk around the track here in North Hollywood into Burbank. And I would call friends and to say hello and how was everybody. Then I started going live. And I called Tatjana one day and I says, what are you guys doing? This really sucks. We can't get together. I'm going live every morning. and I'm showing people that I'm exercising. So Tatjana goes, why don't you just make it an ongoing thing? So every morning at 9 o'clock, say the morning walk with Mike, and see if people just watch you and you could talk to people and that's how it started. I never even called it the morning walk with Mike. I was like, here I am, I'm walking around, I'm bored, I've got nobody to talk to. But now it has a label, the morning walk with Mike, which is constantly being watched every second of every day, and I get the coolest fan mail, so we're never going to stop. But that's the truth. See how these things come about.
It happened also because of the podcast, because you initially had the podcast as a live stream, and then you had a lot of people writing in and getting upset if you didn't respond to their comments. Yeah. And I'm like, but you're interviewing someone, and you want to focus on the person you're interviewing and not going, oh, hi, this person, oh, hi, this person. And if somebody doesn't get a hi in the response, they get upset. And we're like, well, let's focus on the podcast, on your guest. But in the morning walk, it's a great way of being able to actually interact with fans and actually respond to comments and people writing in and saying hello and giving shout outs and having these, conversations with people directly, and that being the focus of it.
Yeah. Well, these are how these things all came to fruition, which is going to make us go even further now because there's some other stuff coming to fruition. We recently put together something that I've always wanted to be part of, a horror movie. I want to be chopped up. I want to be killed. I want to be stabbed. I want to be shot. I want to be scared. I want to be in a scary movie. I love scary movies. And they happen to work on these type of things. And Tatjana is now becoming one of the most talked about, how do you say it again?
Special
makeup effects here in Los Angeles. She has her shirt on with the company that she's creating right now, moving forward. So we recently did one, and then we're going to tell you about some of the other stuff that she does, because it's I'm trying to be cautious about the way I say it, but it's creepy, it's disgusting, it's she does it to her own self. Remember when she was making the videos about wearing gobs of makeup and changing her face and look like a creature? So we did one, and why don't you guys tell everybody about the one, and then we'll move into the ones that you're working on now.
About a year ago, we did a short horror film. We had wanted to do a horror film for a while, and part of the irony of working out here in the business, working on set, you don't have a lot of time to make your own projects because you're always working for someone else on another project. Last year out here, there was the writer and actor strike happening, so some work was a little bit slow, and we decided, okay, let's make a movie this summer. Put some resources together, contact some people that we know for crew, for cast, talk to Mike and say, we're going to do this horror short. And that's how it started. We wanted to do a creature. We wanted to do a series of kills to showcase the makeup and the creature effects. And I wrote a story around that. And that's sort of the basis of it. So we did it as a short kind of proof of concept of what a longer feature story might be. And we shot it over the course of a weekend, and we got Mike involved. So
I get to play the character I wanted to play, and it's going to be cool as shit. So then Tatjana decides, okay, well, this is what the creature's going to look like. And I would get pictures from time to time. This is what I'm working on. I'm like, that's disgusting, which in our world is good.
Yes, very good.
Good. So tell us about the creature. And why do you call it
Glastic?
Glastic.
It's a green woman. It's the Gaelic word for green woman. Because we wanted to have a female villain. There's so many male villains out there, so iconic. These iconic looks of like Jason, Freddy, Michael Myers, and now Art the Clown. There's so many cool characters out there, but not that many female ones. We have maybe the Nun, maybe Megan or the Ring Girl, but they're not quite as big and iconic. So we were like, we need a female villain. It's way cooler. And we found an actress that has a dance background. So we're like, something that moves in a weird slinky way, and that kind of developed into the character. We had you as ranger.
I'm the ranger.
Warning the kids, don't go in the woods.
Stay out of the woods.
And then the woods come back with them.
Yes.
So
which is cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of all we'll say.
That's all we're going to say right now, because you're going to get to see a little bit of it. And when you do, we're going to go out and raise the money to make the whole feature, and it's going to be badass. So Tatjana has to come up with what this creature is going to look like, and you can take it from here with any creatures that you worked on. And we also need to mention one of the most, I think it's a great film, and I think the work that Tatjana did on it was absolutely phenomenal. Why don't you tell everybody about
the Mean One?
The Mean One.
Yes, The Mean One was a horror film that I worked on, which, now that we mentioned Art the Clown from the Terrifier franchise, it was the same actor, David Howard Thornton, playing the Mean One. Some people can probably guess. It has a connection to a lovely green creature that is always nicknamed the Mean One, but we can't really say his name. But yeah, it was fun. It was, I guess you can.
The Grinch. Has nothing to do with Christmas. No. It's a great movie.
So we had, it was a parody. It was comedy, horror. Had a little love story. We nicknamed it Hallmark Horror because, it had a little for the heart, but it was also pretty bloody, but we were having fun. I did the creature makeup for David, for the Mean One. And then Ashley Teal was the other makeup artist on the project that did the beauty makeup and some of the blood effects. So it was great working together and creating that. I created the character and she created the other effects, and then we worked on a lot of stuff together. That's how it goes.
It's a great film, and the creature looks phenomenal. She did all the work. She's being humble. And now she's going to tell us about how you can make some actors change their look on screen. I don't know what's going to happen to me right now, but let's talk about some projects, and you can talk about how you did it.
You want to be a boxer?
I want to be a boxer, actually. Sure. I'm going to turn into a boxer. So let's pretend we're on a movie set right now, and this guy wrote this movie, and he's in the director's chair, and he says, Mike, you're going to be a boxer. So I got to play a 21-year-old boxer named Rocky.
So I'm going to say, all right, Mike, this character has a lot of heart. He's down and out. He's in Philly. So in this scene, you've come off of your first fight, and you lost. That's the big downturn moment. So you're beaten down. So what we have to do is, this is the aftermath. So we have to make you a little bruised and bloody after you lost your big fight. So that's what we're gonna showcase now. So we have Mike in the chair.
I'm in a chair now.
He's in a chair.
I'm in a chair, and
so I'm going to use something called an alcohol palette. This is from PPI Skin Illustrator. This one is just called Bloody 2.
Oh shit! Bloody Tooth.
Bloody 2.
Bloody 2.
Two colors.
Two colors of blood.
And I've gotten a little hit somewhere.
Yeah, we'll say, okay, so he got a
little chin.
Smells very powerful.
A hit to the chin.
A little chin hit.
And we'll do a whole final reveal at the end of this. So
we'll be right back after this commercial break. Now a word from our sponsors.
And what this would normally take is, we would have from a producing standpoint, you'd have maybe a couple hours to get this done, because to do it right and to make it look good on camera, it's not something that happens immediately. Yeah. But look at that. After just a couple seconds, there's a little bit of something.
So what makes you position it like right there?
Because that's a good spot where you get hit,
Yeah, I guess I would be taking her right to the jaw.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's kind of like, 20 minutes after it starts getting red and irritated and getting the blood settled in a little bit, right?
I'm going to go out tonight all bloodied up. It's a very powerful scent coming off of this stuff.
It's activated with alcohol.
It has alcohol, man. My eyes are going to start tearing.
But it's 99% alcohol. So it's like, it activates the colors, and because it's so high percentage, it dissipates really fast. So by the time I apply it on you, the alcohol is gone and the color is there. And now guess what? You can do this.
Oh, really?
Do that. It's not going to come off.
Oh, it's really on there.
It's on there. That's it.
It's on there.
It's on there for good.
It doesn't come off.
Oh, I'm going to travel looking like this. Let me ask you guys a question now. Let's suppose that he's directing, and of course you're doing the special effects makeup, and he says, what are you doing? I don't want the punch on that side. I want the punch on the other side. They're a married couple. Honey, I'll see you at lunch.
That's what we can do then. Then we do this. And we remove it.
I guess I should have shaved.
No, that works.
Really?
Because sometimes people do change their minds.
Yeah.
And people wonder why, movie sets take, 12-hour days. And that's something, if you're in any sort of crafts position on a film, is to anticipate that, is that there will be changes. And it comes down to planning. The more you prep, the more you plan for your, like when we did The Pizza Guy, there was a lot of improv, which is great, but no one was getting killed. Much. Off screen, they got killed.
Oh,
but
wow,
things
look how fast it's gone.
gone.
That's where planning comes in, because we want to have a discussion beforehand and say, okay, what side of the face did Mike get hit on? Well, I think he got hit on his left side. And if we just say, oh, I don't know, whatever, she puts it on, takes a lot of time, we get in front of the camera, we have a bunch of people waiting to shoot, and we say, well, actually, no, that doesn't look good. Let's put it on the other side. Now we just wasted tons of time.
I actually happen to have a story about that. I worked on a movie about MMA fighting.
Right.
And I hadn't talked to the stunt coordinator that choreographed the fight scene. We shot the locker room scene that happened after the fight first. And so I asked the director, I'm like, what's the injuries? And he's like, oh, I just want maybe a jaw, maybe a swollen eye. I'm like, anything specific? He's like, no, whatever, just do something, Like there was no, this is how the fight is going to go down discussion. So he's like, oh, I want it on this side, I want it on this side, that's fine. Fast forward 2-3 weeks later, a month later, and we're shooting the fight scene. And I see the actress and her fight partner rehearsing with the stunt coordinator and rehearsing the entire fight. And you're like, yeah, now we're going to punch her this way. And I was like, but she gets hit on this side and not on this side. And so I had to talk to the director and the stunt coordinator, and we're like, well, we already shot the scene. Is there a way that we can change now the fight choreography to match the injuries that we already have established? So we had to make some switches, and it was great because the stunt coordinator was great, and the two girls that were fighting were pros, so they were able to switch around and be like, okay, instead of like this side, I'll hit you there, or I'll hit you harder on this one, and that's the one that you go down on and stuff. So we were able to adjust it. But that taught me a lesson of like, almost like, don't listen to the director, listen to the stunt coordinator. Because the stunt coordinator will have choreographed where somebody gets injured, where somebody gets hit, how they get hit, how hard they get hit. All of those things that establish what I'm doing. So they know more than the director sometimes, because the director's like, choreograph me a really cool fight scene where this person dies. But the stunt coordinator will be like, oh, they get hit in the head up here, and then they bleed, and then they die of, a brain injury. Okay, well, that I need to know. Not just that they
So
died.
what else do you have there for him?
You guys ever watch movies and you're kind of like, hey, oh, look at that, man, he's bleeding from the wrong side. He didn't even get hit over there.
There's mistakes like that all the time in movies.
Yeah.
Continuity things.
I love watching the continuity mistakes.
Yeah, you see that a lot.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if the story is good, okay, then people would notice. There's something to that.
And in my comedy brain, I'd like to do stuff like that on purpose.
Sure. Yeah. See what you can get away with.
Right? His eye's bleeding. Yeah, but he got punched in the shoulder. That's the comedy.
That's the comedy.
Here's my thing on VFX. If VFX does blood, it's nice for them to talk to us to see what the blood will actually look like, and which direction the blood flows. Because VFX sometimes likes to have blood flow up, and you're like, gravity doesn't quite work that way.
Oh, that's funny.
I've seen plenty of movies where like somebody gets shot and then all of a sudden like the blood starts like flowing this way, and you're like, I don't think that's physics, right? So yeah, that happens.
All right, well, let's get something else going.
So what would we
more
say?
bruises.
Black eye.
So I would say, okay, now more time has passed. The chin hit might have healed. Let's give him a black eye.
Okay.
Let's give him a big bruise, a shiner.
A shiner.
As they say.
Does anybody even say
I don't
shiner?
think they say that anymore.
Man, did I get a shiner? I don't even know why they put a steak on a thing anymore. It was supposed to be to cool it, maybe?
A bag of peas,
Mm-hmm.
frozen peas,
Something out of the refrigerator.
something out of the yeah.
So you're gonna have to close your eyes because now we're going with that. Close your eye.
All right.
We don't want anything in your eye.
You want
And
to
so we
direct that
kind of
camera
go-
shaking?
Shaking the.
Oh, yeah.
It's unavoidable.
Unavoidable. So we're gonna go
So I say yeah.
out here, and we first go with a little bit of yellow. This is like undertone. It goes in here and goes a little on the eyelid.
This must be from the sucker punch.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's from the sucker punch. Lift this eye. Don't shake. We're getting to that point where this could be kind of a look for a very, very, very healed bruise already.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. There's different stages of the bruise. Want to tell everybody where you went to school for makeup?
I mean, I took some classes at cinema makeup school, but I also take classes at Stan Winston School online because things change. Things develop, new techniques develop, and so it's always good to keep learning, keep changing, keep learning new techniques from other artists. And you learn on set from other artists. So this would be like a very healed bruise. You know, it's a little
Lean in there,
yellow
turn,
and
let them see it in the
turn
light. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Just a little bit.
You know,
Little
that's
bit
like
there.
the leftover, you know, a couple weeks later, like a week or two later.
So in planning, you would say, okay, how old is this bruise? Oh, he had it a week ago. Okay, but what if we say he got that bruise yesterday? What's that going to look like?
What if I got the bruise just a little while ago?
Or that?
It's only a little red.
So we want to
So
find
let's
that
do,
sweet
like-
spot where it's the most
Never
Close
nasty.
your
really-
eyes again. So then, if we go just a very, very recent bruise, we can go more into the red colors because then the skin is really irritated, but the bruise hasn't formed. Because, you know, the blood, when it really like starts pooling, then it becomes more purplish. But when it's pretty fresh, it might look more like this.
Take a
So
look.
this is more of a fresh one.
Lean in there, let the light see it.
You know? If
Oh,
like you
man.
just, you know, an hour or two ago.
Shit, man, my face. Oh, my face. Isn't that cool?
And then when we say, oh, this was a day or two ago, then we go into some of that blood pooling.
Yeah, let's see the Yeah, there we
Close.
go.
What would you rather do, special effects makeup or makeup?
Special effects. Yeah,
'Cause
definitely.
Tatjana
This is
also
way
does
more fun.
models, right?
I mean, not as much, but yes, I do. I can do beauty makeup. I do beauty makeup on, like, natural makeup on actors whenever they have their normal scenes before they get injured. But it's more fun doing. I like doing injuries. These type of, you know, healing stages. I'm a big fan of working with stunt coordinators, doing fight choreography. That type of stuff is really fun to me.
Yeah, I guess this would be more fun than just making somebody look beautiful.
There,
Alright,
there
take a
we
look.
have like a.
Oh, damn.
Lean in. Let's see that in the light.
Oh,
Yeah, look at that.
man.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man.
This is where it's like pooling
Shit.
under here. And
Oh, Anthony, call somebody.
Let's bring back some memories from the
Oh,
storehouse.
man. Look at that sucker punch. I wasn't even looking. I
Well,
would
then-
love to just go shopping right now. in
and
the
then
store.
we can do, you know, what if the skin got actually like
Ripped.
ripped?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Maybe I
Yeah,
need a
little-
butterfly stitch or some shit like that.
Like a nice. Okay. I got hit so hard here that this guy ripped open. Let me find like sort of a cut line. So right now it's just a cut line. Then we can have some fun with this stuff. So right now you have a cut line.
Yeah, that's getting there.
And now we can add some blood. So there's a little cut now.
Yeah, let's get the...
Some blood.
Now, this isn't just blood. There's different types of blood.
Yes.
So what kind of blood is this?
Kind of a thicker. This one is specifically a dark contour gel blood. So they're like, you know, a little crusty. Maybe it's like starting to coagulate. But this one won't drip. So it's one of those. I place it where it goes.
Feels weird. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I have to put my glasses on so I can
Yeah,
see.
that's fine. See, yeah.
Oh. I got to write some lines for this. Watch this. Oh, you motherfucker. This is great.
Then we have drippy blood.
Oh, the drippy.
Yep. Let's get a little messy.
Yeah, a little drippy blood. So we'll make sure that it runs where we want it.
Take a look.
I think I feel it. Is it dripping?
Yeah.
It is. So we're building up. So you decide if
Yeah.
you look at that and say,
I feel it coming.
so now
It looks like it's bursting out of the cut.
exactly, very fresh.
Look at that.
Yep, still
Oh,
dripping.
that is so cool.
So the initial blood, that thick blood, I can control. This blood, I'm like, once it's on there, that's gravity. It will
Yeah.
go where gravity goes, down.
And you have to hope the actor gets his lines right,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't have to wipe this off and do it again.
Exactly.
That's gotta suck doing
And
it
then,
twice.
here's a fun little trick of the trade to make that shiner actually shine. Use KY jelly. KY.
Mike, what was the
I'm
last-
leaving that alone because I know these people really well. But if I didn't, I'd be doing some dirty jokes right
Well, Mike, when was the last time you had KY jelly on your face?
now. Never.
Okay.
Well, wait a minute.
You don't have to admit anything.
KY jelly. Who would even have thought?
So it
This
gives
is what
sort of
you
like
use.
a little sweat / shine to it. So then the
This is-
camera picks it up really, really
This
nice.
is so cool.
So move in there and see if we can see that in the light. Yeah, a little bit of
Look at that
shininess.
shine.
Yeah,
Look at that.
adds that touch of realism. And there it is.
Wouldn't it be great to be doing something like, ow, what the fuck,
Yep.
man?
Yep.
I get the money. I'll get the money. Keep on going. Fuck me up.
Yeah. Let's see. So then we can say,
How about
okay,
something
let's
in the head?
let's
Like
give
right
him-
over here.
give him
bit of
something
light.
big.
This
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
So in our film, we didn't do. I don't want to spoil anything. This did not happen to you in our movie.
No.
But you also were not funny in our movie. And that's what we get to tell people is we had a cast of characters. And what I like doing, as fun as it is to improv with everyone and be funny, is take people sort of out of their comfort zone. We had talked for a while about you doing a quirky, kind of weird character. Even though you are known as a comedian, we wanted to do something different. And so when I wrote the part and then decided that was the right part for you, the character is not funny. I believe
No.
I'm correct in that, right?
Yes.
And
No. I want to do serious roles.
and it reminded me, well, look at the great Robin Williams in Insomnia, where he was the villain. And you could see he did such a good job. And sometimes, in my experience, both personally and from what I've seen, comedic actors can sometimes play the best serious roles because you can kind of, change those emotions and get to that very dark place. It's coming there
You ever work with actors that are just pains in the ass?
all the time.
He said that a little too fast all the time.
But there's also and sometimes you have to understand where actors are coming from and what you're asking them to do on camera. And yet, yes, they're not moving heavy equipment. You know, they come in, they sit in the makeup chair, but they sit in the chair, they get bruised up, they have to go to an emotional place of being sometimes very happy, very sad. And because we shoot movies out of order, because we shoot during the day, we shoot out of order for various other reasons. We can say, okay, in this scene, you know, your child just died. Now you are reacting to that. Okay, now we change everything, come back, you know, 20 minutes later. Okay, in this scene, it's your birthday. You know, just to throw things out there because everything's out of order. And you have to go on that sort of emotional roller coaster, as you know, and get to those very dark places and get to those watch the table, get to those very happy places and be convincing. So that's something that not everybody can do. And I think people sometimes don't realize that's what we kind of put actors through.
This is so cool. I see it coming, Verdi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It makes you wonder how Tatjana thinks. Like, what's on your mind that made you create this particular cut?
What's on my Google search history?
Oh, look at that.
So we got a little deeper gash, like you got hit in the forehead.
I'm so
there.
ready for Halloween.
Right.
We can use some of this other.
Imagine answering the door. Trick or treat, kids. Want some candy? Go
Like,
around
what
the
do you
back.
want? Yeah, there you go.
Older, crusty. It's like crusted over or so. It's gonna be more of a scab, you know.
It actually looks like it, yeah.
You got hit, and then this is starting to heal, but it's still.
I didn't put a Band-Aid on it.
Yep.
I
And you
didn't
toughed it
go
out.
to the hospital
Nope.
or nothing. I don't want anybody to know. Look like I've been in the movie Sling Blade.
There, you know, you got some like
All right. There
dried
we
up
go.
blood.
Let's do something. What do we
Some
got?
scratches?
Because I'm naturally looking at, even though we're doing this for the broadcast, I'm looking at the time. I'm thinking, okay, how much time do we have? Do we got to get him on set? What more can we do? So I think we should do some scratches.
Scratches?
I think we should do something to the other side of his face. It looks a little too clean.
Yep.
And this is a sped up version.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's great, man.
This is sort of an abbreviated process because we're doing this in 15 minutes instead of the hour or so it would take.
We're at 52.
Yeah.
And then I
turned it towards
And I
me.
say, okay, we got to wrap it up in 7 minutes. What can we do?
Red irritation. Lay down. And then
Yeah, maybe they fought dirty. They used their nails,
yeah.
and that already looks looking nice.
You got scratched
Mm-hmm. There we go.
And give me your knuckles. You.
Because how do you know you've been in a fight if you don't see your knuckles?
Here's the quick and dirty. There we
Get
go.
in there, yeah. Show it off. Let's see that. Let's see those scratches. Let's see it in the light. Yeah, let's see that. See your face.
I guess I wouldn't be smiling.
Maybe. Did it
Need
win?
some sunglasses. What happened? Nothing. Man, it was a windy night. What else?
I mean, that's kind of like some of the main injuries you can get.
I want a bloody nose.
Let's give him a bloody nose.
I want a bloody nose.
Let's give him a bloody nose. Very fresh.
Why don't you tell everybody where they could find you and your work on the internet?
Where can they find us in our work?
Black
Look
Cat
at that.
Productions.
And the address is?
So the best thing would be on, let's say, Instagram, because Instagram has our links to the website and to our YouTube channel and all of that fun stuff. So it's black.cat.productions.
Look, it's dripping.
And from that link, you can go to our personal professional pages
Yes.
to look up our services for producing and makeup and ADing and everything else that we do.
Tell everybody about our ghostly project and where they're going to get to see it, hopefully. If you guys want, you could put it on my tour dates where people can go watch the screening at a film festival.
Yeah, we have a couple upcoming. We're in a couple film festivals, so we'll post about those. And and then hopefully once we're through the film festival circuit in the next few months, we'll also add it to our YouTube channel, and then
it'll be online for everyone to see. Hey, let's that blood's not. This is a suggestion. Hey, that blood's not convincing. What can we do? I think he needs more. Let's it's a little too light. Let's bloody him up some more.
Like, what kind of fight was I in?
Well, I think I think they fought dirty. Yeah.
Oh, I could feel it.
There we go. That's something.
Yeah. Holy shit.
There's the look.
No, let it go, man.
Yeah, let it.
We're going to end this episode like this.
And what blood is that?
This HD blood, it's just regular liquid blood. There's mouth blood, so that way you can also put it in an actor's mouth.
Yeah, I was going to say, can I eat this? I mean, what if I swallowed this?
You can. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it.
But it's not harmful.
Not harmful.
It all smells like alcohol.
So see how many different kinds of blood you have on you right now?
Look how jacked up I am.
And we'd add some sweat, we'd add some bandages, we'd add some bruising, rip your clothes.
Yeah, a Band-Aid. A little white thing.
Yeah, the butterfly Band-Aid, yeah.
Butterfly Band-Aid.
We do have some ultra sweat.
Yeah, let's get him some sweat.
Ultra sweat. It's been sweating. Sweaty brow, yeah. Where all the sweat points are.
Yeah, the brow.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool stuff because it doesn't, go in the skin.
Hey, old Mick.
Let's give a little bit of mouth blood after this.
Yeah.
I thought I had mouth blood.
You have blood on your mouth. Now you get some blood in your mouth.
There's a difference. Yeah, that's looking really good.
Must be expensive to have all of this equipment.
So now you can actually put that in your mouth.
How do I put it in my mouth?
You, drink it.
But then swish it around, it'll...
Swish it around and it will make your teeth bloody.
There you go. All right, let's take a look. Move on in there. There you go. Show off that bruise. Look at that.
All right.
And then we go, and that's lunch. Take it all off. We're done.
Go ahead and eat with that.
How's it taste?
Yeah.
Disgusting. Holy mackerel. Well, this is something else. I think it's time for us to get going. So why don't we go ahead and close this episode with my face looking like I was just literally hit by a car. I want to thank Cody Boesen for being on the podcast that's produced by his lovely wife, Tatjana Bluchel. We thank her every episode. I want to thank my producer, Tatjana Bluchel, for always making sure we got great guests on the show and they get here on time and they do everything right. And so this is her producing her episode of her own show, which is fantastic. I hope you guys are understanding what I'm talking about. So the next time you ask me, what does Tatjana look like? Now you actually know. And this is what Tatjana does in making me look like this at the end of a podcast that she produces. Look what my producer did to me. He's trying to get rid of the show. All right, we got to get going. Listen, let's make America Italian again. You know my motto. You don't know nothing. You don't see nothing. You don't say nothing. And how do I end every single one of my podcasts? By saying the same thing with my guests. Don't take no shit from nobody. Look at my face. Hey folks, thanks for watching live from my mother's basement. I hope you enjoyed the show. And if you did, hit the word like and leave me a really cool comment. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the future episodes and you can watch some of the funniest videos on the internet. You can also listen to the show on Spotify or your favorite podcast app.